Fellow Zimbabweans, I come to you once again to tell you that we've been mobilizing ourselves to deliver the final blow to a dictatorship that lacks any wisdom or empathy. We are now ready to deliver the final push, a push that needs all of us to face the odds and base a new country. We are going to give you a clearer signal soon. It will come before 2300 hours at night so that we end this 2030 business. We have read in the media that police are on high alert to deal with demonstrations. We appeal to the police to be on the side of the people, to think of the impact of keeping this regime in power and the effects on you and your families. We also ask you to respect the Constitution, which allows for peaceful demonstrations and provides for ways to remove rogue regimes from power. The police say they are on high alert. Let's remind them that they were on high alert when we said Mugabe packing and brought back Munangagwa. They must be on high alert again as we remove this dictator. In the past week, there have been attempts by this corrupt regime to buy war veterans using groceries and balls so that they can forget their birthright and the reasons why our fellow comrades lost their lives and lives to liberate this country. These tickets are only being given to war veterans who belong to the ZANU-PF War Veterans League, as if they are the only ones who liberated this country. I want to declare here and now that we are not for sale. We won't pawn the future of our children and that of their children. Munangagwa, using criminals like Tungwarara and Bahia, is going across the country buying hampers and donating a paltry $200 per each war veteran. We say paltry because in our country, over datum line is 500 US, and therefore anything below that is an insult. Stop insulting freedom fighters. The question that needs to be answered, however, is where is Tungwarara getting that money he is dishing out? Is it coming from his pockets? We know that's not the case. If government is failing to fund from treasury the welfare of all veterans, how can individuals afford this? We all know he is a corrupt fraudster who has made millions from the perimeter wall project at the State House. In a country hit by drought, schools are without books, teachers are poor, nurses work without adequate protective clothing. What does the rogue president do? He splashes 42 million on building a wall so that he can fund the lavish lifestyle of Tungwarara. How do you take taxpayers' money just for your wife to go around the country to play pada and fry mopani waves? Honestly, 60 million for funny and games because your wife cannot sit herself down in the unbridled ambition of being a mean president. These things are allowed to happen. These things are allowed to happen because we are being led by crooks. Nothing more, nothing less. They are worse than baboons with legendary primitive accumulation of wealth. He has brought this economy to its knees. Life as we knew it under the late President Mugabe was far much better. This clueless Munangagwa is sent us to shame as a people in nation. We must reclaim our lost glory, and therefore As we move forward, our goal is to ensure that honesty and compassionate people have control over the source of funds in our treasury. This will ensure that national funds are not treated as personal funds, as is currently the case. How heartless and selfish can one be? To drill a bore for a homeless war veteran, you expect one to drink water while sleeping under the stars? That's bullshit. What is more important, shelter or a bore? Do you know that war veterans sacrifice their youth, education, opportunities for jobs, and even life to bring liberation, and you wish to pay back that selfless sacrifice with a few coins? We are not Judas. We will not sell out. In all honesty, what kind of a president or human being leaves hospitals without medicines and instead uses scarce resources for the construction of an overpriced perimeter wall at State House? My advice would have been better. We had built better prison. Sell for yourself. Why should that person be allowed to remain in office? Who is Mahia? He is a destitute, made poor by a government that steals from this country. He goes before national TV, threatening to tear a national constitution. In what capacity? As who? Does he know the 2013 Constitution represents the voice of the people? This is treasonable to pull on the voice of the people just to tickle the behind of a useless person who calls self-president. We know Mahia is fighting tooth and nail through bootlicking so that he survives. We must stop sacrificing national ethos for personal gain. I call on him to focus on the future, and I assure him he will never thirsty nor hunger again. In this country, we now have degreed vendors, prostitutes. After attaining degrees, young girls are forced into streets to sell their bodies to earn their keep. We know we are the big clients because only you have access to the national purse. Our children have lost their moral compass because of greedy, selfish adults. Kindergartens mistaking gray hair for wisdom. Look at the company Munangagwa keeps. Ziambe, Matuke, One Mudangwe, and others. All these have dead background. They are shameless and corrupt. Their parents were well-known sellers during the liberation struggle. But now they want to behave as if they are more Zimbabweans than Zimbabwe. Why does ED surround himself with such people? Simply because he is one of them. Christopher Mchangwa, my friend, we seek to appeal to your conscience. We have been our brother. We have stood together. But your statement, although half-hearted, was just a pity. How do you defend a person who arrested your son like a common criminal over things that his children do daily? While your son was being held in a remand prison on charges of selling sterling, this rogue president was giving Shigananda a license without even consulting Potras. Is that a president you want? Munangagwa, the people of Zimbabwe are charging you with the following. 1, presiding over a failed state. a nation that has failed its people. 50% of Zimbabweans are in poverty, while over 80% are jobless. You and your government has no plan whatsoever to correct these mistakes and failures. 2, constitutional abuse of office. You have captured the judiciary for personal gains, firing judges willy-nilly, and issuing threats when judgments don't conform to what you want. You have destroyed the very core of our democracy and legal system. 3, you have turned state resources to a personal playground, ceding state duties to your wife, who is abusing state resources, and he has become a Tsarian who hires and fires government workers at your whims. You have presided over corruption, weaponizing ZAC for your own political fights. Your children and yourself are at the center of all corrupt activities. You invite criminals to State House because you yourself are a thief. 5, you have stolen people's happiness. Munangagwa must therefore just go. And as we move forward, this is our plan. We have put enough mechanism to make sure the revolution will not be hijacked again. Going forward, all stakeholders of various parties and civil groups will be consulted on every step we take. We want to liberate all, so this should never be viewed as a ZANU-PF internal fight. It should never be converted into such. We are going to call for action soon. Stock up in preparation for a national shutdown as we march to a free Zimbabwe. This was prophesied long back